I'm live and I'm freezing. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to Cliff Notes Live, episode number 210. And welcome to 2025, a brand new year, brand new opportunities, brand new everything for everyone. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Let me start off with a big old SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love reality TV. I love all you guys that share every Monday night with me live or the ones who watch it on replay. Also, thanks to all of y'all. And so far, I was going to say love in 2025. Okay, a little cold for my taste. We're going to talk about that this evening, but hey, you know, it's wintertime. Even down here in Texas, I guess it's that time of the year, right? I want to hear where y'all are at, hear what's going on. I can't complain too much. I know y'all got even worse in other places, but we'll talk about all of that. All right, first of all, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my channel, turning on notifications, hitting the like button. Everyone says that, right? But please consider doing so as we start the new year. Who knows what kind of videos will drop? I found some old videos from the very first Cliff Notes I did before I was even doing them on YouTube. I had posted them out on YouTube. I had never gotten around to publishing them officially. So I did it. Colleen is saying, really enjoying watching Cliff's old episodes. I didn't know they were still out there. I had some old ones. I thought, all right, I'll go ahead and post them. I haven't even gone in and reviewed them or tried to edit them for right start, stop. And so take it with a grain of salt. The sound's rough. There's no background. I don't even think I'm wearing a cowboy hat. It was a long time ago. It was during COVID, if I recall. But anyway, it's out there. So if you had notifications turned on, you would know when those old episodes dropped. I need to go watch them myself and just see how I've changed over 5 years. So howdy to all of you. Hope y'all are doing fantastic this evening. Let me go out and check real quick, see who all is out here this evening. Joining me on this cold and chilly night. Let's see. Ed's out here. Ed, how are you, sir? Carol Mosier, an eye for horror with Big Jake as well. Hey, Jake. Karen Loveland, Marilyn Sutherland, Carol Mosier. Let's see. Desiree Watts. I love seeing all these names. Ma is out here. How you doing, Ma? Kennedy Franklin. Franken. All right. I'm going to read this in a second, Kennedy. I'll talk about that. Starzery. Brian Husteller flying tonight. Safe travels to you, my friend. Let's see, Mark Taylor, LJ Price, Patricia Miller. Let's see, Karen Hummer, and who else? Colleen. I may have mentioned. I'll say it again. Howdy, Colleen. Cindy, how are you doing, my friend? Cindy Hire. Little tabs going a little wonky here. All right, let's see what else we've got out here. Garrett White, how are you, sir? I hope life's treating you well. A little cold up in your side of town, right? Your side of the state. Kendra, Amanda, Kenty, Audrey Cobb, Taylor Mangus. God, I love seeing all you guys out here. Paul Long, Andy W., Carol Mosier, and I think we'll shut it down right about then. Yeah, let's just call it then. Guys, I'm glad to see all of y'all out there. I want to come back to Kennedy, what's going on? And then we'll get in the show. Hi, Cliff. Maybe this will cheer me up after crying at work and being yelled at and contemplating how much longer until I find a new job. Prayer would be nice. Kennedy, you got my prayers. Now, do you work? I thought you're working at a baker or something along those lines. Is that still the case? Keep this in mind. Things change all the time. I've had jobs that I absolutely hated. I didn't feel like I was treated right. I didn't enjoy the work. That we all have the good ones, the bad ones. It's all part of the learning experience. Don't let it get to you too much. It's just one small, tiny little segment of your life. Things will get better. I guarantee you. What's that? I saw a saying, I think it was on Jeopardy, watching it saying, everyone loves rainbows, but you can't have rainbows without a little rain to start. Kind of hokey, but there's actually some merit to it. So Kennedy, you absolutely have my prayers. Just don't let it get to you too much. It's just a tiny little segment at a time. You'll overcome. You'll learn from the good and bad, and move on from it. So yeah, I'm thinking about you. You got our support, not just me. Everyone else out here, well, we got your back, my friend. All right, let's see what else we've got, and let me know how it's going as well. If there's anything I can help with. Marilyn Sutherland saying we're at a whopping 25 degrees and falling. See, I'm freezing down here, but I know I can't complain in Houston because I don't know what it is down here. 30, I think they said 33 or so. but for old Texas boy, it just feels miserable. I'm just not used to it yet. And it's supposed to get so much worse. I'm down in Houston, and we're right on the edge of where there may be a little snow and ice. Up in Dallas, Fort Worth, where Wyatt's at, and some of y'all, they're supposed to get, I heard 8 inches of snow, and then this morning I heard potentially 11 inches of snow. Yeah, it's a lot. I grew up in Dallas, Fort Worth. We didn't have so much snow. We just had ice. Every once in a while, a little snow. We'd go out and build snowman, throw snowballs and all of that. But mainly we had ice up there. And for those of you who live further north, props to you for knowing how to survive cold weather. Here in Texas, not so much. No one knows how to drive on roads in Texas when it gets iced up. These people in these gigantic pickup trucks with 4-wheel drives and the glass pack. They think that the bigger the motor is, the bigger the car it is, the more wheels that are actually being spun, the easier it is to drive. Well, when you hit a patch of ice, it doesn't matter how big your vehicle is, because you're sliding no matter what. But I stay off the roads down here because it's just crazy sometimes. And now I had a little experience when I used to work in oil fields in West Texas, where I had to drive in bad weather sometimes. Sometimes you had to get out to a job on a rig no matter what. So I feel like I've got a little bit of skill with it. But yeah, it's tough down here. So a good night just to call it easy, sit in front of a fireplace and enjoy Cliff Notes Live. All right, Kara Mosier saying, upstate New York is 13 degrees and light snow. That sounds brutal. Now, there's no easy way around it. Buffalo, I watched the football games and stuff. I was up in Buffalo the very start of 2024 doing some training. And it was cold up there, but not like that. But, it's almost worse for us in some ways, because when the rain and stuff hits us on Thursday, we're going to be at like 35. So we're going to get not just snow, which is kind of cool, I guess. Now we're going to get rain and freezing cold weather. It's just, I'm in a complaining mood, and I shouldn't be, because it's a brand new year and everything is wide open for all of us. We didn't get a white Christmas, but hey, that's all right. I just hope everyone stays safe and warm. I know some people have to venture outside sometimes. We were watching the news because, remember, in Texas, we lost all our power a few years back because the electricity plants couldn't keep up with the cold temperatures. Hopefully that's not the case. They're saying we're good this year, but if I suddenly cut out and go dark, it's not my fault. It's the power utilities that help out the state of Texas, I suppose. So we shall see. But yeah, stay safe and stay warm. I thought we'll talk about it a little bit later. So I'll talk a little reality TV, but I have a few cold weather travel stories as well. I can't stand the cold, and yet I've been to a few cold places here and there. All right, let's see. Mark Taylor saying, any choice of Traders favorites that starts in a few days? No, I'm watching for it. And Ed's saying Danielle Reyes for sure. I've only met Danielle once. I met her at the Give Kids the World fundraiser. When was it? Not this past December, because I didn't have it, but I guess the December before that. I met her. We had a special little venture where we went to a place called Discovery Cove and got to swim with dolphins. God, that sounds really fun right now. Swim with dolphins and take little lazy rivers and things like that. And I'm sitting there at the little bar area getting one of their special signature drinks or anything. And all of a sudden I realized right next to me is Danielle Reyes. And I kind of fangirled myself because she's old school. She should have won Big Brother. If they had the jury sequester and stuff back then, I think she would have won it, and she deserved it. But I saw her and I just kind of, Tarzan said, "You're Danielle Reyes." I loved your game of Big Brother. I hadn't watched a lot of the old seasons. I really started on season 8, but I had watched a lot of hers. I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so impressed that you're here. It's so cool I'm getting to meet you." And then she knew who I was, which, yeah, I got to feel flattered that she actually knew that. I went through that same experience when I met Sandra Diaz from Survivor. I was just kind of in awe that she actually knew my name. But yeah, Danielle is one of the absolute goats. So I will be cheering for her on the Traders. I'm looking forward to it. I got a little bit. I saw a thing, Traders, Rob has a podcast. I guess they ran their own version of it. I didn't realize that. I just saw some things mentioned about people winning Traders. I thought, oh my God, they already spoiled it for me. Well, then I realized that, I don't think it's the main show that's the one that's being spoiled. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the Traders. I saw last night. Or was it night before last? I think it was last night. I was up at the gym working out. Yes, I'm trying to get in shape again. Working out a little bit, and up on one of the screens, I had the worst cooks in America, which pretty funny. When I initially told my family that I maybe was going to go on Big Brother, still didn't know, but I had to get some releases signed. So there's a possibility that I may be going on a TV show. One of my nephews said, "Are you going on the worst cooks of America?" Well, no, but thanks for that. I won't be cooking for you, I guess. But yeah, they thought maybe that was a show I was destined for. I'm not sure I proved anyone wrong by the way I cooked inside the Big Brother house, but hey, I survived for 3.5 months. But I saw the latest season of Worst Cooks in America, and they had Rachel from Big Brother. They had Frankie Grande from Big Brother. They had Wes Bergman from the challenge on there. I didn't have the volume, so I'm gonna have to go back and check it out. But those would be fun to watch. I'm not sure how good a cook Rachel is either, but we'll find out. So I got a few reality shows I got to check up on. I finished up Squid Game 2. Thank you, Angie Hung and others who suggested that I binge it and watch it. I'll say not quite the level of season 1, just because it was such a new idea, but still pretty good. They did a pretty good job of getting the plot and changing it up a little bit, but still keeping the same stuff and all that. What's funny is I kept confusing the first season of Squid Game, the TV series, with season 1 of Squid Game, the TV show, or the reality show, the actual reality competition, in terms of who was on there and who was representing and all that. There was a mother son on the game show that I kept thinking, oh, they were on season 1. Season 2 has a mother son. It just kept reminding me of those other two, and yeah, they just all jumbled together. But very interesting show. South Korea comes up with some interesting reality TV and game shows and things like that. I'm kind of excited. There's actually a Pluto channel I saw on the Pluto TV network that's all South Korean TV. Go check that a little bit. I just find myself watching a lot of South Korea. Last Train to Busan, the Squid Game. There's a few others. Brains, I think, was one of the reality shows. Anyway, I get into that later. Binging a whole lot of different kinds of shows, and now Traitors coming up. So yeah, I'm ready for it. I'll have to be checking that out. All right. Mark is saying, can anyone beat Bananas in the challenge? You would think that everyone would be gunning for him. What did he say on the last episode I watched? That he's been in 11 finals and he's won 7 of them, something like that. I was a little shocked by the numbers. I did not realize he's won as many as he has won. And they keep showing that one season where is it the island or X's? I don't remember where he cut the other girl loose and he took all the money instead. Kind of brutal, kind of ruthless. But yeah, Bananas just feel like he turns it on when he needs to turn it on. He doesn't act like he treats the challenge so seriously during the season. I mean, he plays hard, but he kind of just is, he's having fun, or at least he gives the appearance that he's having fun. And then at the very end, he just kicks it into gear. I like Bananas. I met him, fantastic guy. Kind of cheering for Jordan a little bit. And I wouldn't mind seeing Kyland win just because, gotta rep the Big Brother folks and all of that. And I've met Kyland, nice guy as well. But I just feel like Jordan, if everyone left of the guys in that game, Jordan's the badass. Bananas is the GOAT. He's the star and all that. But Jordan's just the badass of that group. And I kind of admire that, kind of respect it. We'll see. I'm looking forward to the final. I'll watch it, and just like every single season of the challenge, I'll be sitting here saying, God, of all the shows I could have done, I sure am glad that maybe the challenge wasn't the first thing they put me on, because I just don't know that I'd be doing as well on some of those. Now, treading water that Kara and Tori had to do from a couple of weeks ago, I could tread water. I feel like I could tread water for days and days if I had to. Not so much running up hills and carrying 100-pound planks and all that. So anyway, all right. Kenny is saying, yes, work in a bakery. I have 3 managers and 4 co-workers. Leave or have a cake decorator who likes to act like a boss but isn't one. Well, there's no job in this world that you aren't going to have some people who feel like they're in charge, whether they are or not, Kennedy. It's you just have to figure out how to handle those people. Sometimes you just kiss up to them enough to let them do their own thing, and eventually know that they're going to burn out. They're going to crash and burn and that'll be end of it. Other times, it's hard. It's just part of work. I've worked for big companies. I've worked for small companies. There's always those one or two people that you just want to just kind of say, just what are you doing? Why are you making life difficult here? It'll be all right. But it's tough. I'm working. I hope though, working at a bakery, I know you've done it for a while. I hope you've gotten some good experience, because that's the most important thing. As you go from job to job, from different situations on, it's all about getting that experience under your belt, because that's what's going to pay off on down the road. And part of the experience is learning how to deal with people that aren't always easy to deal with, right? Hey, deal with that person. I spent 3.5 months in the Big Brother house. Trust me, there were some people in that house who maybe thought they were a little bit more in charge than they actually were. And it's so hard to hold your tongue sometimes, but sometimes you just have to, and know that karma pays. I am a huge believer in karma. Eventually karma catches up to everyone. It'll catch up to that person as well, Kennedy. You got it. You got it, my friend. It'll happen. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. Kendra is saying, will you watch Deal or No Deal Island? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's got Dr. Will on it and Poverty, right? Yeah, I mentioned a little bit last week that they're doing those. Yeah, and Ed says we get to see Poverty in her headbands, and Colleen's saying I'm a big fan of her headbands. I'm pronouncing that right. Poverty. I always feel like I'm mispronouncing it, just because half the time I probably do. Yeah, between those two, I said last week they should work together. I don't know if they will. I don't know about Parvati as much, but I just feel like Dr. Will's ego may be a little too big for him to be able to work with her, or to trust her. And it could be vice versa. I kind of hope that maybe they go head to head. I would hate to see a couple of kind of all-star reality TV people that just steamroll everyone else. I don't want that. I want to maybe see two different alliances form and have them go after each other in a battle of wits and all of that. It's going to be fun. How old is Dr. Will? He was what? One of the earliest season 4, whatever, a Big Brother. So he's got a few years on. Of course, Parvati does too. Which, trust me, it's not about the age. I know that, but I'm kind of curious to see how they interact with some of the younger parts. I can't remember the guy's name from the first season, the young guy that was working with Boston Rob. I love to see that relationship, the kind of the all-star reality guy and this younger kid who's maybe a little socially awkward in life, and yet they made it work for a while. It was fun to watch that relationship form. These reality shows, I'm all about the relationships and how people interact. I enjoyed it as Big Brother. I mean, who would think that Nicole and I would have been the two that ended up aligning and working together? I probably wasn't until about the second week before that happened. Before that, it was a little bit me and Ovi. Of course, Ovi and I are always going to be tight as well. But yeah, I love seeing how people find commonality and make things work and find the common objectives and all that. So yeah, I'll be watching the second season of it and watch it. It just makes me realize there's a lot of reality TV that's getting ready to start back up again here pretty quick, isn't it? And I'm here for it. All right, Dr. Bose is saying, hey, Dr. Bose saying, have you watched Physical 100? Yes. Have I watched the entire, I think there may be more than one season, right? I can't say that I've watched the entire season, but for those you don't know, and Dr. Bose will correct me, I think I'm referencing the right show. They start off with 100 people in South Korea. I was just going to say Korea. I don't think they had any North Koreans there. They start off with 100 people in South Korea. These aren't just random people that got picked for TV. These are like all the badasses, apparently, of South Korean culture. Top-notch athletes and bodybuilders and celebrities and just a lot of people. And God, some of them are just built like bricks. I mean, men and women both. And so you start off with 100 people, if I recall. They each have a bust of themselves, a sculpture. They compete in challenges. It's a little bit like the challenge. Compete with each other in challenges. Some of them are as simple as fighting with someone else, tug of war kind of thing to grab a rod and things like that. Whoever loses gets eliminated. They have to take a camera and go bust their sculpture up and all of that. And you work your way down work your way down from 100 people down to the winner at the end. But no, there's people that, you always see people that are working out in the gym or CrossFit, things like that. They just think, God, how do you even buy clothes? How do you fit those muscles in the clothes? Never been an issue for me. Mine's a little bit more. How do you fit the clothes onto the lower parts of the body? Yeah, for the folks who enjoy the good meals and all that. But you see some of those people on that show, and think, God, how be a little be a little nervous going up against some of those folks if they said you're going to have to take them on in a tug of war or something. I'd do it. If I was on the challenge, if I was ever on there, the first thing I would do is tell everyone, please do not put me in a challenge until we get to Hall Brawl. And when we get to Hall Brawl, please put me up against Fessy, because he is the biggest, meanest, baddest person when it comes to just tackling and Hall Brawl and things like that. And I would tell everyone, I want to go out. I want to take my one big chance. I want to be the Rocky Balboa. I want to go up against the biggest and the best in the one of the roughest of the challenges. If I win, fantastic. No one expects it. I go out a hero. If I lose, hopefully I don't die. And no one doubts my willingness to get out there and give it everything I've got. And I'd go so hard. I'd probably break every bone in my face hitting that guy. But that's, if I ever did that, I'd want to say that to everyone and hopefully get them excited enough about it that they actually wouldn't put me in some of the earlier challenges that maybe I wouldn't do as well. I'd love to take Fessy on in Hall Brawl. Don't tell them that, because I don't want to be called out on it either. All right, Cass is saying, love Physical 100. Yeah, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's more than one season, right? I'm just a little behind on my South Korean reality TV shows. They have some TV shows where they play games similar to Mafia. If you've done, played some of those games with friends and stuff, they've got some that are very complicated, the rules and the strategies, that I have to watch these episodes a couple of times before I can pick up exactly how some people figured things out and all. Nothing against us folks that are on reality TV here in the States, but I feel like the level of the rules and strategy sometimes is a whole lot higher over in South Korea than it is here. It's a little bit more involved, a little bit more complicated. Of course, for all I know, they have a lot more time to prepare for it and all of that. But I'm just continually amazed at some of the battle of wills that you see on some of those shows over there. They do some cool TV over there. So yeah, maybe I'll cover some. Should I cover some South Korean reality TV? Maybe if I could find a channel that consistently shows it that everyone could reach out to and watch it. That could be interesting. Have little subtitles underneath, converting back to South Korean, or not South Korea, converting to the Korean language. I assume South Korea and North Korea have the same language. I don't know. All right. Mark is saying, do you think WWE going to Netflix helps or hinders the show package? Mark, I'll be honest with you. I didn't know that WWE was going over to Netflix. I think it helps. I don't know. WWE is so big. God, they have these things in the big arenas and all that. It's such a production nowadays. But what I like about Netflix, I think, and I probably will defer to you and your opinion on this. It seems to me like the future of everything is streaming and not necessarily having everything show up at a certain time on a certain channel. Instead, you just go out to one of these streaming platforms. When you have time, you watch 1, 2, 3, you binge however many you want. It seems like WWE would be perfectly set up for that. They have the big cage match or whatever. And maybe you pay extra to watch it live, but if not, it's sitting out there a little bit later. Netflix is getting their bucks out of you for signing up for it. And yet you're able to watch it over and over again if you want and all that. So I could see it being the case. I grew up when my brother Robert and I were growing up in Fort Worth. We watched a lot of wrestling, like the Von Erichs and some of the folks from back then that were here in Texas. We watched a lot of wrestling and we watched roller derby. And Robert figured out what I never did. He always would cheer for the LA team. I'd always cheer for whoever was competing against the LA team. Well, it was a show that was based in Los Angeles. This is where it's filmed. LA was kind of the home team. So, of course, they won like 2/3 of the shows because they were the hero. They were the, dare I say, the New England Patriots or the Dallas Cowboys of roller derby. The production wanted them to win and make the playoffs and all that. So I usually lost on that, but I remember my brother and I watching a lot of Saturday afternoon. Actually, I think it was Sunday evening, wrestling and roller derby on our little independent Channel 11 back then, a little independent channel there in Fort Worth. yeah, I hadn't thought about that in a while. Have not watched as much WWE since then. But yeah, I didn't know it was going to Netflix. All right, well, one more thing that I may be able to check out. All right, an eye for horror. Big Jake 88 saying seasons 2 through 7 of Big Brother are really good. I know. I've heard. I cannot believe I haven't watched Boogie and Dr. Will's season. There's a lot of seasons from there that I haven't watched. I did watch most of season 1 with whole different rules and everything, but Eddie's the guy who won that one, and I think it was from Fort Worth. I was kind of cheering for him because of that. I watched that season, and then because I had kids and all, it didn't really fit in with the kind of TV we were watching then. I tried to go back and watch. Not even season 7. I think when I was going on Big Brother, I put season 8 on with Evil Dick and all of that, just so Sharon could catch up on it. It's tough to watch those old seasons because it's a little bit slower movement. You don't have some of the twist and everything, but more than that, standard definition cameras. We don't have all the HD. We didn't have any HD back then. So the picture quality is just not quite there. I gotta say, I guess I'm spoiled. I almost would rather watch an old black and white film from the 40s or 50s than watch some of the standard def stuff that I see nowadays from the 60s and 70s. I guess Big Brother season 2 through 7 in the 60s and 70s is early 2000s, but y'all know what I mean. It's tough to watch just because it's a little bit slower action, slower going, and again, the cameras just aren't what they are now. Which makes me 20 years from now, people are going to be saying, I'm not going to watch season 21 of Big Brother. They use cameras. None of this holograms that we have now or all that. Who knows where we'll be. Probably no one's going to be watching TV. We'll all just have our implants and our corneas, and we'll just zone out, look like a bunch of zombies sitting on the couch, each watching our own show, and you'll be able to pick whichever person's viewpoint you want to be in. Who knows what we'll see by the next end. It'll be crazy stuff, I'm sure. All right, let's see what else we've got going on. I did. Well, first of all, I hope y'all had a good New Year's. We didn't do anything crazy. It was kind of Sharon and I here and enjoying. We watched all the shows. We watched Ryan Seacrest. We watched Anderson Cooper and what's his face? I can't even think the Andy whatever. But we watched all the shows. I watched a lot of the Andy Cohen. We watched all the television, the Telemundo and all of that from Mexico City and Miami, and just went back and forth watching a lot of the performances. And those poor folks in Times Square, you get there at like 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever time it was. You sit there for like 20 hours. You're not allowed to leave. So, going to the bathroom. I heard like diaper. I don't know what else it sounds horrible to be there that long. And then it starts raining on these folks. Pouring down rain. And it's cold up there. I felt pretty comfortable sitting here with Sharon, watching all of it on TV instead. People shooting off fireworks everywhere in the city. Never mind whether they're legal or not. So yeah, that was our New Year's Eve. We did binge a few shows though. We watched Squid Game. We certainly binged on that. I did watch 2 shows that I'll mention to y'all that I enjoyed. I think Sharon enjoyed them as well. We watched Gladiator 2. Huge fan of Gladiator 1 with Russell Crowe. That and Braveheart, 2 of my favorite movies of all time. It's all about fathers, husbands seeking vengeance for those who've wronged their families and all. I just relate to the main characters, be it Maximus from the Gladiator or William Wallace on Braveheart. I love those kind of shows. So I love the original Gladiator. Watch Gladiator 2. Not quite to the level of first one, but I thought they did a fantastic job of having a very interesting plot that had you guessing a little bit. And yes, there was a lot of the same gladiator in the arena fighting that you would expect and that we saw in the first one, but there was enough changes in the plot and everything that it kept it very interesting. So we really liked Gladiator 2. And the other one we watched, it's the movie we tried to watch at the drive-in theater. And for those of you who didn't watch last week, we showed the drive-in. They've got a screen that's like 6 foot by 4 foot or so, tiny little screen. So that's not a drive-in theater screen. We're not staying. It was Red One with Dwayne Johnson. Loved it. I had a blast watching this show. Dwayne Johnson, the guy from The We Are Farmers commercial. We are farmers. Da, da. That guy played Santa Claus. Dwayne Johnson's on there. Chris, drawing a blank here. But anyway, it's all about Santa Claus getting kidnapped. And Dwayne Johnson, as the head elf, has to go track him down. And it was just very cute. I don't know yet whether they were trying to be a kids movie or be an adult movie with a little wink and nod. They had some language in there that if I was watching with a child, I'd be like, don't say what they're saying on there. But on the other hand, I just could see things, kids really enjoying watching the reindeer taking off and all that. So I had fun with it. We had fun watching it. It was kind of an unexpected little treasure that I hadn't heard anything about this holiday season. So it is what it is. It did make me think, just brainstorming here a little bit. For those of you, Die Hard, the whole idea about Christmas movie or not and all that. Yeah. There's some other movies that I always compare to Die Hard. Y'all know the White House is down, and I think later they have the Parliament is down, or London has fallen. The White House has fallen. Is that what it is? Or the White House is down with Channing Tatum. Channing. I love those kind of shows. White House down. Okay. Where, you have the terrorists come in and take over and all of that. I love those kind of shows where it's someone that's Channing Tatum's having to save his daughter and save the president and all that. What if you had, now hear me out, and then I'll move on to a different topic. What if you had the White House is down? What if you had the North Pole is down? Treat it seriously. This isn't for kids or anything else. Bad guys take over the North Pole. They're trying to kidnap the Santa or Mrs. Claus, and there's some guy who's just up there taking a tour of Elfville or something, who suddenly is faced with saving Christmas for everyone. Just some regular old guy, and he's having to scavenge around to find candy cane machine guns or something. I'm serious, and I treat the movie as somewhat seriously as well, even though it's a fantasy kind of idea. But have it as though it was true that the North Pole really had fallen and this guy's trying to save Christmas. Treat it completely serious. Now, it would turn into a bit of a parody. I get that, but I think you could have a lot of fun writing a movie like that. So anyone from out there that's interested in writing a little script or something, reach out to me. I'll help you, I think. But the key is you treat it serious and then let the comedy ensue, just because how could it not? That's my idea for the evening. All right. I'm going to write one of these days. Cindy is saying, my dad was on my dad was on the San Francisco Bay Bombers roller derby team. That's pretty cool, Cindy. You're first. You are the first person I know in real life that had a relative on a roller derby team. I, as a kid, always thought, I could do roller derby. I've got skates. I could skate around a circle. Those people don't scare me. I never did understand the rules. There weren't any rules. I mean, something about passing people. It really just knocked people down and go around. But no, that's cool, Cindy. He must be tough. I know there's a little bit of theater in those. At least there used to be. And I know there's roller derby teams that are still out there that may be fairly serious. But I know there was a little theater involved as well. But still, roller skating around and around for as long as they do, and knocking people over the rails and all that. That's pretty cool. One of my favorite sci-fi movies. It's hard to watch nowadays because it's very slow. But James Caan and Rollerball. Jonathan. Check it out. Watch it. The action scenes of playing this it's not roller derby, but it's close to it. Futuristic. The world's controlled by different industries instead of countries. And instead of violence, they resort to rollerball, which is fairly violent. Picture roller skates and motorcycles and guys with gloves with big old spikes on them. Not the remake, which was bad. Watch the original 1974, 78, somewhere around there with James Caan. I love me some rollerball. As a kid, I used to think, why don't they have that as a real sport? Because you couldn't pay people enough to get out there and get hurt like those guys do. But it's cool to watch as a movie. All right, let's see what else we've got. Janet Johnson. Janet, how are you doing, my friend? Says they don't even have porta potties on New Year's Eve. I know. I noticed that, which makes me think, I don't know how you make this work. And as I say, it sounds pretty gross, but I remember some events in the Dallas area. I went to Texas A&M. I did not go to University of Texas or University of Oklahoma, but I did go downtown Dallas a few times when they had Texas OU weekend, and people would just go back and forth on the streets and yell and holler and just have fun the night before that rivalry football game between those two teams. I'll never forget some guys who decided to make some easy money. They took a flatbed truck. They put a bunch of porta potties on the back of the truck. They just drove up and down the street, and anyone who needed a rest, because there were very few restrooms along those streets, anyone who needed to make a little pit stop, you just wave down the truck. They pull you up there. You pay them a couple of bucks and get off a few blocks down the road, and you're feeling much better. Could you do something like that on New Year's Eve? Go rent. I'm sure Times Square is so incredibly expensive to rent anything, but I'd be really tempted to go rent the tiniest little space I could find and just put a few porta potties in there and just charge admission the whole time. There may be laws against it. And yeah, I'm not sure my LinkedIn profile, I want to put down porta potty entrepreneur or something. But hey, yeah, that's rough. That's some dedication for those folks to sit out there. Because what do? I guess you either don't worry about it, or you spend a couple of days not drinking anything at all. They both sound pretty miserable to me. So yeah, I had a blast. It was fun this year because Sharon and we went up to New York City when we went up to see Nicole get married in March. And while we were up there, we went to Times Square and did all the touristy stuff. So at least when I was watching all the big shindig there for New Year's Eve, I was able to actually envision and say, oh, that's where we were. Right? I remember sitting on those little benches and all that. So it meant a little bit more now that we've been there. I'm glad. First only time we've ever been to New York City, but it was pretty cool. It's interesting because Christmas, you have people celebrating Christmas, but you also have people celebrating Hanukkah and not celebrating anything. It's some people celebrate, some people don't. 4th of July is, maybe some people do, some people aren't serious about it. It seems like New Year's Eve is the one celebration that, and it's not just the United States, maybe that's part of it, that everyone around the world celebrates together. Watching fireworks over in Sydney or in Paris, no matter what the culture, the religion seems like. Now, I know there's some countries that have slightly different dating calendars and all that. So not everyone, but for the most part, you get celebrations around the world for New Year. The world coming together to celebrate we made it through another year. And thoughts and prayers go out to this stuff in New Orleans. Horrible. Don't get me started on that soapbox. I felt so bad for those folks out there. But yeah, the whole world coming together to celebrate the earth and our society, making it yet another year without blowing the whole place up. All right. Ma says, I want to write a script. Ma, I bet you would have a fantastic script. We'll have to collaborate. Yeah, fun. I spend a lot of time in my head just thinking, what can I do that'd be silly or fun or whatever? Maybe someday after I retire, when I'm 80 or 90, I'll just become a writer or something, because that'd be fun. All right. Karen Loveland saying, you need to read 1 Second After by William Forston. Also has follow-up book EMP. I've read it. Fantastic book. I didn't know there was a sequel, so I will check that out. But yeah, I remember there's an EMP attack. The dad and his family, they're in a little small town that's up in the mountains. All the people on the highway start streaming off the highway, wanting food and everything else in this town. There's some sad parts, people that, diabetics with insulin. Insulin only lasts so long when it's not refrigerated. And I always remember, I don't know why I remember this. Of that whole book, the thing I remember more than anything else is them telling the guy, hey, the insulin that you got left, put it in a bag and then put the bag in the back of the toilet where the water is, because that will stay cooler than anywhere else in the house. Once all the electricity's gone, the fridge is out and all that. The water and insulation of the toilet will keep that water cooler than anywhere else. So the insulin will last just a little bit longer. I've always thought, worst case situation, zombie apocalypse, I'll be the guy saying, hey, let's go, put the insulin and all the medications in the toilet, and it'll last you an extra 12 hours or whatever. Yeah, I love that book. Fantastic book. I got to go check out the sequel now. All right. Dr. Bose is saying, One of the best movies of the 70s, Duel. The original Steven Spielberg, right? The truck driver, all you ever saw was his boots. That movie scared me to death. I watched it as a kid, and for those of you who don't know, it's a guy who's like driving past a truck. He cuts the truck driver off, or it's kind of a innocent little gesture, thing that happens. But this 18-wheeler truck just gets mad. It's chasing this guy down. At one point, the guy's in a phone booth. That's a thing they used to have in the old days that had a phone before cell phones and all. You'd stand in a little booth and make calls. Completely non-existent now. But guy standing in a phone booth calling the police to say, there's a truck that's chasing me down. All of a sudden, here comes this truck plowing through the phone booth. He jumps out just in time. And as I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Bose, but yeah, all you ever see is like the boots getting in and out of the truck. And at one point, the guy walks into a diner. The mean guy, the truck driver's there too, but he doesn't know who it is because he never sees the guy. And I don't think they ever showed who the truck driver was. But yeah, Duel. One of the original classic. You and I are thinking the same way, Dr. Bose, on some of our movies. I didn't know at the time it was Steven Spielberg. I just remember my parents watching it, and therefore we watched it. And it just shows you don't have to have really creepy monsters to create some really intense drama. And Steven Spielberg learned that again when he did Jaws. Originally, he was going to have the shark show up a lot more often. The mechanical shark didn't work that well, so they had to not show the shark near as much. And I think it made for a much scarier movie because you just hear that da-da-da-da. You don't need to see the shark. You just hear the music and you start getting a little bit tense and nervous. God, I didn't go swim in the ocean for 10 years after that movie. I still remember that movie. All right. I feel like I'm getting off on a lot of tangents at this point in time. Ken T is saying, how was Nicole's wedding? It was incredible. It was so much fun. I had already met her husband-to-be, Brian. He had gone with us to Hearts of Reality, Give Kids the World Village fundraiser. So I'd met Brian before, talked to him online quite a bit, and then met him in person. He's an incredibly nice guy. He and Nicole are such a fun, perfect pair for each other. So that was fun. And not only getting to see Nicole just kind of shine and all of that, and I got to meet her parents and her family and a lot of those folks, but also getting to meet a whole lot of the Big Brother 21 cast. Christy was there. Tommy was there. Ovi was there. Obviously, Nicole. Ovi was the minister at the wedding. I was the witness that signed their wedding license. So yeah, it was. I met Cindy with an S from Big Brother, a few seasons earlier, or no, from Big Brother Canada. What's his face? That was on All Stars with Nicole. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, I met a lot of folks, and again, just meeting her family was neat. Never been to New York City, never been to Long Island where she got married either, and yeah, I had a blast. It was, first of all, I was very happy for them, but beyond being happy for them, just cool getting to see old friends and spend a little time celebrating together and watching as all these people all the people I was on Big Brother with, so many of them have gotten married and then they're having kids and all of that. Nick's kids and everything. Jackson Mickey's married. Christy's married, has a couple of daughters who look like they're getting ready to turn 13 any day now. So yeah, it's fun watching all of my friends from reality TV getting a little older and changing. Well, I just stay the same. I don't change at all, but they do. Now it was a lot of fun. All right, let's see what else we've got. Paul Long is saying, love Duel. Absolutely terrifying though. Yeah, it's just the most basic premise. A guy's chasing you down and won't stop. Of course, in Houston, that's not really so fictional. You got to be careful. Here, you can't do anything. In the old days, someone make me mad, I'd flash my lights at them or, yeah, you don't do that here. There's too many people packing heat in this city that aren't hesitant to either use whatever's holstered inside their vehicle or these cars are big old cars. So yeah, you just, I've learned over the years, just kind of keep my head down. It helps having Spotify and podcast and other things that can keep you just focused on staying chill with everything you do. Yeah, I don't have enough time to waste on these idiots out here. I've dealt with that stuff before. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. Zeri Watts is saying, do you want to do anything with your wife like Big Brother? I'd love to. There's no way Sharon's going to do something like that. If I could get Sharon on any reality TV show doing something together, it would be so much fun. But yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Uh, I tried to get her to do this show. She won't come in. I got Kelly and Daniel, my kids, to come on here one time. But yeah, no, I think we'll look different directions with it. Sharon loves to watch and cheer me on, but yeah, I don't think so. But it would be cool to get her involved. She has done not her thing. You know, some people are narcissistic enough that they like to get out there and just go crazy in front of a camera and you know, well, modesty be damned. Other people, not so much. But yeah, I did have fun while I did Big Brother, because even though it was just me in front of the camera, I knew I was representing Sharon and my kids, and trying to keep put the best foot forward and make sure they stayed proud of me. And they spent a lot of time saying, we'll be proud of you no matter what. Yeah, but I still wanted to justify them being proud of me. I thought about them the whole time I was in the house itself. So yeah, definitely do that. Let's see what else we've got on here. Hold a second. Yeah, it's so cold. I was going to tell some stories about travel to Alaska and Russia and all. We may hold that off for next week. I have a feeling it'll still be cold then. So we'll do it when I've got a little bit more time. We're just busy talking about 2024 and celebration, right? Dr. Bose is saying my dad was in the square on V-Day, May 6th, May 8th, 1945. VE Day, right? And then VJ Day was later. That's cool. He wasn't in that picture kissing that nurse, was he? Y'all know the one I'm talking about, the sailor kissing. I don't think they know who those two people are, which kind of makes that picture even more cool. It's just some generic soldier and nurse, and I'd be celebrating as well. I don't think we have ever had that kind of situation where, you know, your country is such under a threat, or so many people involved in something going on, and then have it over with, and to have Europe more or less, you know, you've taken care of business there. I'd be celebrating too. And yeah, I bet they didn't have to stand out there for 14 hours without any access to the bathrooms or anything. I would go to Times Square to celebrate something as important as that. Watching a Tiffany Waterford Crystal ball or whatever drop, maybe not so much. That's cool. What a little piece of history that you've got, that he was involved in that particular situation. That's pretty cool. I love hearing that. That's neat. All right. Sorry, 7:56. This goes so quick. It's funny when I do these shows, sometimes, especially during Big Brother season, I've got a whole list of topics I want to talk about. Other times I just kind of go with the flow, see what you guys got going on and all. That's one of these kind of nights. I was running late for work. I don't know why. Just because it gets cold, people do slow down here. And I don't know, they get bundled up or whatever. God, I was sure happy to have my big old mug of coffee when I left for today. But anyway, little slow getting back. Came in, jumped on the camera last minute, and finished up. I have fun with these nights where we just talk, figure out what's going on. Sitting there talking to y'all, looking across the way. I got a Christmas tree to take down this evening. We're just almost done with Christmas. 12 days of Christmas. I think that finishes up tonight, right? So somewhere at the Star of Bethlehem, 3 wise men hanging out, looking for the gold, frankincense, and myrrh, whatever myrrh is. It's a guy on Impractical Jokers, right? But I guess it was something important back then also. I played a wise man in a Christmas musical once, but I refused to sing We Three Kings. So I wasn't that good of a wise man. I was kind of a wise guy instead. But yeah, we're about through with the holidays. It's hard to believe we're starting off 2025. It's going to be a great year. I'm so excited. Episode 210. So I guess by the end of the year, we'll have episode 262. Hopefully, I think. It's pretty impressive. I appreciate, guys, y'all sticking with me for this long, especially as I go back and look at those very first episodes that are, yeah, here I am making fun of the standard definition cameras on Big Brother. Go watch those first couple of episodes and we'll make fun of production values a little bit. I did notice watching a little bit of it. I had my blanket that I always had inside the Big Brother house, had it there in front of me, and just my little taste of the Big Brother season. I started off doing these shows because it was COVID. There wasn't that much else going on. My show and Tiger King seems like the only thing that was actually hitting about that time. And then Nicole went on All Stars Big Brother and all that. But now there's a little bit more things to pull people's attention away. So with that in mind, thank y'all all so much for continuing to be the loyal friends, the family that you are. I know I say a lot, but I really do appreciate it, guys. All right, with that, I think we'll go ahead and shut it down. Y'all stay safe. It's not just the cold temperatures, although things turn purple and fall off if you aren't careful. So be careful with that. But stay safe, stay warm, stay off the roads when there's yahoos sliding all around in the vehicles. Just have fun enjoying the warmth of your house this evening. Kennedy, I'm thinking about you. Trust me, I know where you're coming from. It'll be okay. Guys, y'all have a fantastic week coming up. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all next week. Until then, finish off with a big old SKD 143. I love you guys. Love my wife. Love my kids. Love reality TV. Love you guys as well. And as I said at the very beginning, if you haven't already done so, subscription would be great. Notifications turning on would be fantastic. And a big old thumbs up is always a boss hog signature move, I suppose. So thank you for all of that. But more than any of that, just thank you for watching and being part of the family. Guys, y'all have a fantastic next week. Ho, 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 and a merry winter. And I will see y'all next Monday. Until then, cheers, my friends. Y'all have a good one.